And we're back with some more BattleTech, this time about the Catapult. Now, of course, as always, make sure to head to the very top of the description and click on the link to the OG video. Go and support Tex for all the wonderful stuff that he does for the BattleTech community. Alright, my dudes, let's get right into it. Is that a pig?
Personally, I've been getting a lot of flack by trash-talking the clans incessantly. So, I'll start with this. I'll be nice and say the following clans were mostly okay. Mostly.
Yeah,
for the most part. See? There's a list. Enjoy.
Much honor. Such wow. Best amateur clan or football team. Hey. You guys did tell me about it in the earlier comments. Clan Wolverine doesn't play well with others' rewards? Pretty much Heckler and Kosh meets Krupp in space? OG Lords of the Bling? Heck yeah. Diamond Shark. Genetically Engineered Snoo Award? Clan Hell's Horses. Okay. Now this is the one I gotta join. Clan Smoke Jaguar, holy shit, it's the Eridani Light. No! Eridani Light Horse Award. What even is that?
Shit talking mostly over for now, as I can already hear the keyboard warriors blazing a path of hate in the comments below. So let's move on to the keyboard warriors of this episode, while they're busy losing their goddamn minds. This episode...
I will say though, that for the most part, underneath all of our BattleTech videos has been just the most helpful and educational comments. And not some of the other types of comments that I get about people being mad that I don't know like one specific obscure detail about their lore that I literally just learned about for the first time. Super strange, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. I do try my best to learn things and respect the source material, but oftentimes I get things mixed up and I'm not going to remember every single thing, so yeah, I'm really thankful to everybody who makes sure that I'm up to date on info and doesn't just lay it on me in such a condescending tone.
It is about the Catapult, which, believe it or not, even though it's a niche mech, I really like. As chosen by the polls, we're discussing the Catapult. You would have seen these polls if you had notifications turned on, or had them not disabled by YouTube. Because YouTube these days makes as much sense as casting John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
Okay, when was this video made? May 4th, 2019. We're almost in 2025 and YouTube still doesn't make any sense. Maybe even less so than before. Like, how does it make any sense that people get a notification that I'm going live on my channel an hour after the stream has ended? Like, what's the use for that?
Yeah. That actually happened. Also watch people start posting about how the Conqueror killed John Wayne because of the Downwinders nuclear test controversy. But this ain't a top 10 video, so put that shit away for now. In short, yes, I listen to my fan base. Yes, I read the comments. Yes, I allow you guys to steer this series. So this is partially your fault. Enjoy the blame. So back to the main point. Bearing in mind I don't want my editor to sue me for BattleTech-induced psychosis.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm having a great time. This is just... Don't fucking touch me!
Let's keep this diatribe as focused as we...
Oh, man. That brings me back to my days working as an editor for other YouTubers. It was always fun to just throw in your own little quips here and there whenever it made sense to. But man, editing is such a tedious job. You do so much for so little, but it can be really fun if you kind of had the right mindset for it.
We can while hitting the important points. Yes, that means I may not be covering your super custom retrofit battlefield version that has 60 MGs for killing squirrels. You'll be okay. Probably. Or not. Again, I hear a sea of keyboards rising in protest. Calm thyselves. Ye majestic nerd herd. We'll get through this, and we'll get through this together. For the purposes of the Catapult, we start like most good stories, at the very beginning. The year is 2561, and the Terran hegemony still exists. That's pre-Star League for those of you not in the know. So the galaxy we will explore more fully in this series is still in its infancy. Star League won't exist for another 9 years. These are the crazy early years of Terran-centric government and warmongering. So the initial run of Catapults was made from 2561 to 2563 by Hollis Incorporated to fulfill defense contracts for the Terran hegemony, but sadly, when the contract came up for negotiation and renewal a few short years later, the hegemony said no. This is not a reflection on the quality of the Catapult. The Catapult is fucking awesome. I need you to understand something, though. Something about military bureaucracy and government contracting. Governments don't always make good choices when it comes to the procurement of weapons.
That's kind of an understatement. Governments rarely make good choices in general. Although, I suppose it depends on the government that we're talking about. Some are probably better than others. Well, at least one would hope anyway.
You see, most government defense contracts are somewhat decided by committees and corruption. For every weapon system in development, there's a long road to consider. There's red tape. Bullshit. More bullshit.
Lots of meetings.
Graft. The military-industrial complex. Graft. Payouts in briefcases. Graft, and of course, graft. And like a graham cracker crust, it's all baked in the warm embrace of corruption. I'm of course referring to fictional accounts, because surely this does not take place in the real world. That would be far too much to take, to assume that those in charge of these supremely expensive programs
could never exist.
Inherit lucrative private sector jobs after everything was greenlit. And as well, there's the consideration that Hollis made the Battlemaster, which was better received by those in the professional stompy death machine business, despite being nearly the very definition of underwhelming. Even though initially only produced for 3 fucking years, the Catapult was widely fielded by the hegemony and the Star League Defense Forces after that in a fire support capacity. What's fire support, you ask?
I mean, makes sense. It's in the name. It's the Catapult. You would assume that it's like an artillery unit, or more for long distance, because I suppose depending on what you outfit your mechs with, you could turn them into that kind of role, regardless of the base mech.
Well, that's the military term for the guy who stands in the back, kill-stealing while the rest of you soak up returning fire. Oh, fine. I guess you want a visual aid to understand this. No worries, fam. I got you.
Oh. Stumpy. Look at him go. No. Ooh. Oh no. Kill Stealer. Please save us. Never mind.
So now that you understand more about what a catapult does, and about the Inner Sphere method of waging war badly, let's get back into our history books. So when the Star League had itself
I mean, that is one thing the clanners have over the Inner Sphere. They're better in short battles. And I say short because we all know what happened to Tukiyud.
Collapsing like a cardboard house in a hurricane. SLDF commander, all-around mostly decent person Alexander Kerensky decided to leave the Inner Sphere to its own devices, taking with him the bulk of the military, including most of the catapults, which then left the lowly Capellans holding the lion's share of the remaining stockpiles. You see, Hollis Incorporated ran a modest factory in Capellan space, cranking out a handful of new models and spare parts for them. A modest boon for the Capellan state, which ended during the First Secession War. I'd love to do a series on the Secession Wars as a whole, but let me have a moment to explain the following to you. In the First Secession War, many things outright disappeared from the Inner Sphere.
I'm assuming this is when the technology kind of got purged. Now it's all lost tech, and we probably have the phone company to thank for all of this.
Things like civility, social development, industrial competence, justice, long lifespan, ethical considerations for your fellow man, reason, millions of people, housing, environments, planetary ecosystems holding people responsible for their actions, rule of law laws, the greatest majority of jump ships, and nearly every warship in existence, hundreds of years of industrial golden age, and lastly, the Hollis factory.
No, not the factory.
From that point on, the catapult remained a relative rarity. For a time, anyways.
For a time. Until it was rediscovered.
During this time, war destroyed so much of the industrial base that invasions often hinged on who could secure, steal, and utilize the greatest number of production spares. It wasn't until hundreds of years later, in 3033, that the catapult began to emerge in significant numbers again, as the Draconis Combine decided to restart domestic mass production. By the time the clan came to strike at the Inner Sphere, they found centuries-old catapults to be still fielded, some examples having survived generations of pilots, bad ideas, and failed governments. Despite the abuse, neglect, and damage, they still work. Even out in the periphery, there were surviving examples of the original production run, kept running by God knows what space magic, but still defiantly there and doing their job.
I mean, if they're still running despite how many years has gone by, then either the maintenance crews know what they're doing, or that thing was built to last. Do all mechs, are all of them built like this? I'd assume stuff like the Irby are probably not going to make it for a very long time, but they're really good at doing what they're supposed to do. Whereas the more expensive Omni-mechs might be able to last longer in years of service, you know, if it doesn't get blown to bits. Or actually, now I think about it, my assessment of the Irby is probably backwards. The Irby's probably the one that's gonna last forever.
So why would people use something so obviously ancient, antiquated, and simple?
You don't have the tech?
Because it fucking works, dum-dum.
Yeah.
Let's get down to why. Nothing, and I mean nothing, about the catapult is particularly complicated.
No need to fix what ain't broke.
It's a cockpit on legs that shoots missiles out of boxes. That's pretty much it. It's a walking MLRS. And because those missile boxes are detachable, people tend to slap whatever fits on the shoulders. That means the catapult is sometimes also a cockpit on legs that shoots other things out of boxes or other attachments or whatever. It's also fairly moddable because the Inner Sphere has zero design standard when it comes to this sort of thing.
I mean, it does look fairly simple in design, and just the fact that you can easily mod things onto it, you just get whatever you can, get your hands on, slap it on, and it works. So yeah, it totally makes sense. We have limited resources, use what you can.
Because in the Inner Sphere, if you can afford to do it, you will probably do it. The standard catapult is a 65-ton machine that's moderately maneuverable, jump jet capable, and carries 10 tons of armor. It also carries 2 LRM-15s and 4 medium lasers, Again, thanks to being unsophisticated, many of these war machines were kept running through a total dark age of technology, as their engines and weapons systems required no great expertise to manufacture, repair, or replace. Before you say, yeah, so what? I want you to think on something really quick. Imagine making a fusion engine that could withstand several hundred years of bad maintenance by Billy Joe Bob, using nothing more complex than half a toolbox and a 4th grade education. Yeah, the Catapult is impressive.
Okay, so because Tex is pointing this out, then I'm assuming the other mechs aren't quite built to last this long. Or it's probably a similar story where it's like tech that survived through the years and we're able to simply maintain it.
Also, to be fair, I have to say this, being that everyone liked them and wanted to keep them running, coupled with an ease of modification, the Catapult has variants. It has so many variants. It has so many variants that my editor would shoot rock salt into his eyes out of a shotgun if I made him list them all. So let's just touch on the quote design philosophy unquote of Catapult modification. Here goes. 1. If it fits, it works.
Yeah, exactly.
2. If it works,
use what you can.
3. Fuck you, it's a catapult. 4. You're not my mom. I do what I want.
The most important one.
Now let's agree on those principles and say there are variants of the Catapult that make sense, or more sense than others. Like the C-1B variant for the Royal SLDF regiments, having double heat sinks and ferrofibrous armor plus case to ensure it doesn't explode for 80 days when you hit it. Makes sense. The Royal Regiments having wanted a premium catapult experience, so they got the fancy armor and the non-shit heat sinks.
Yeah.
There's also the C3 model, which puts Aero 4 artillery in place of LRMs, because what's better than big missiles? Bigger fucking missiles, of course. And that statement makes sense, and if it makes sense to you, guess what? You're a catapult pilot.
Heck yeah.
Then there's what Curator did. Turn a missile boat into a PPC brawler and add more heat sinks, delete the jump jets, and whatever. I mean, these guys make great strategic choices. Oh, Curator. Never change.
Kurita is part of the Draconis Combine, which are the ones based off of Japan, right? Yeah, their mechs look really cool. And from what I recall from the first video that we watched from Tex, is that their military is pretty hardcore. So yeah, I can see why.
There's some really fascinating builds though. Like the H2, which came out of the periphery. Turns out being cut off from everyone and with limited access to spares meant that you put whatever fits into the mech and just go with it. Like a club sandwich drunkenly made from leftover groceries, the H2 has a bit of everything. PPC? Check. Medium lasers? Check. 8 rocket launcher 20s? Sure, why not? Again, catapult philosophy. If it fits in those mounts, fucking do it. And here's where we boil down to why this thing is so damn useful. Name me a weapon system that works for 500 years with mediocre upkeep and maintenance at best, and still survives as a beloved instrument of warfare centuries after it was built.
There you go.
Name me a weapon system that has spawned invasions just to capture its spare parts. Name me a design philosophy that's so constant over the centuries that it's copied endlessly to the point that, well, now that the intertube tough guys are distracted writing a thesis below, starting with the beloved, well, actually, I can move on. Also, fuck you, clanners. I was nice earlier. You want me to take your trophy away? No, you don't, because it's nice and it makes you feel important, like your sense of honor and questionable dress code.
Oh, what is
fun
that?
of how people dress, but I look like an extra from the Duluth Trading Company catalog, and, well, you guys look worse than that. Seriously. You'd think you'd fight people less if you felt better about yourselves, maybe. Just thinking out loud here. Okay,
oh my
moving.
god. Also Tex, what is that? What are those pair of pants, man? But yeah, back to the Catapult's design. Its defining trait is the fact that it lasts so long with so low of a maintenance. Probably due to just a really good base design. It doesn't look impressive, and I don't think it's like outfitted to be an absolute god of war, but it just works so damn well that people would be willing to invade just to get more catapults because they're that valuable to the entire army. I don't know if this is an accurate comparison, but what this is making me think of is that it's like a Nokia flip phone. Like those things that just wouldn't die no matter what you did. Like they were built to last. And that's what the Catapult makes me think of.
Moving on. At 5.7 million space bucks, you don't have to be a genius to see the value in one. As well,
it's not super expensive
the previous
either.
Owner has either one, worked out all the problems long before now, or two, died in the process of stupid modification, so you know what not to do. This is a win-win for any checkbook. And as well, you could afford to throw these things 4-to-1 against any Mad Cat or similar level threat, as the Inner Sphere and Periphery did. God bless you, Inner Sphere. So, if you're interested in knowing more about this universe, please check out the link below or at the end of this video for another content creator's perspective.
Ooh.
I think you'll appreciate what insight and knowledge he has about BattleTech, and that he definitely seems to give a genuine fuck about the setting, and isn't a tourist trying for quick views before moving on. If instead you want to read along, Sarna.net is an amazing resource and probably the best fan wiki on the internet. Fuck you, Wikipedia. You have an entry on water. Water, with a list of fucking appearances where you will find water. What the
Well, I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess thanks for teaching me about water. It's the liquid necessary for most life forms. Yeah, no shit. But I do recall you guys mentioning that there are like a ton of other BattleTech content creators out there that talk about the lore and stuff like that. I don't know if I'll ever delve like that deep into the lore, but if there's anything in particular that I become interested in, then perhaps I'll take a look around and see what new stuff we can learn about.
the fuck? Anyways, Sarna good, support Sarna, please.
Sarna
I'm
is
strangely
good.
already in Wikipedia, but if I could
I've been
make
there
it
a ton
to
of
Sarna,
times.
I'd really consider my life complete. Please don't edit me in there because that's a dick move. I need to earn
Just,
that spot the correct way by being
Checking
an
out some
asshole.
extra info about
Speaking
certain
of,
decks.
wrapping up here, I'm gonna say this. I love my fans and I enjoy the spirited debate that erupts in the comments below, regardless of what I bitch about. Remember, we all love the same things, which is this awesome setting. Let's keep things civil and respectful. Unless you're a smoke jaguar. Hey, smoke jaguar, remember when you had a clan?
Oh no. Rip, dude.
Wow. Well, now that that's handled, next up is a space story. And after that, well, a poll decided. So yeah. And now a word from our sponsors.
What an asshole. Oh, hey, didn't even see you come in there, which is scary because you could have murdered me. I'm the editor, and I've just got two things. One, I have a Twitch channel called The Courtesy Flush, where I hang out with my buddies on a couch and we play video games together. It's a very quiet, comfy stream. That is until Tex comes and interrupts the stream with his
Ruins
stories about
everything.
how he gave a clown leukemia on Space Station 13 for the 10th time. You are.
Wow.
The power of television. I will destroy you with the power of my voice.
Also, thank you so much for being supportive of this kind of content. And also, since Tex is an asshole, I've decided to do this. This is his Mechwarrior online ID. Feel free to find him, harass him, and shoot him in the face. And even send him some of the worst mechs you could think of. If you're a planner, don't send him an urban mech. He has hundreds of those things. He likes them a lot for some reason. Anyway, you guys have fun out there.
Thank you, editor-san.
They're not like any battle mechs I've ever seen.
Your insolence has provoked the fury of the clans. Prepare
this guy
to
again.
destroy.
Hi, this is Discount Dan at Discount Dan's newly incorporated and not at all illegitimate spare parts emporium.
Not
the
at
last place
all.
burned down in a freak accident / tax avoidance scheme that's not quite made it to the courts yet, so I'm gonna pass these savings on to you. Now you might be saying, Discount Dan, did you sell catapults? Well yes, I did, until a man came in and said he wanted a hunchback, and I was so excited, until he started screaming profanity and using my inventory to shoot at my inventory and customers. Turns out, he was crazy, or it was a neurohelmet malfunction, or maybe I was negligent and failed to make sure ammo wasn't in the hopper, popgun goes off, excitement happens, whatever, irrelevant. I'm not here to dwell on the past. Let's talk about the savings I can pass on to you.
Dad, are you okay? Oh god. Like, I know this is supposed to be a joke, but I wonder if this is actually like something that would happen in universe according to the lore.
Today, we have the world's largest supply of gently used catapult parts, bits, pieces, shrapnel, scrap, and firefighting equipment. You might be asking yourself, Discount Dan, why all this stuff and why the hard sale? Well, I'll level with you. I'm in kind of a hurry because any minute now.
Sir, I've warned you about this. Stand by for incarceration procedures. Just don't resist.
Shit, run! But not
Yes,
too fast.
OP
It's only an
son.
urban mech.
Sir, you cannot outrun a radio.
I'm a free man traveling the land. I'm recording you. I'm gonna sue you. I'm beyond your laws. I'm a free man traveling. I'm a citizen of the sphere. Call your supervisor.
I think Dan is dead. Oh! Mechwarrior online. Yeah, you gotta try that out someday.
Hey, Rollo, what's happening, man? Look here, I want to ask you a question. Does that look like wild parsley to you? You mean that marijuana?
Oh, well, this is a Gluger. You
What
will
is all
find that
this?
once long ago, people bought guns for their aesthetic value rather than any practical purpose. They showed images, if you would, on a very primitive internet. And they never shot their firearms despite collecting massive arsenals.
What?
It's worth about 50 C-bills.
What? Is that an actual... Well, I guess there are collectors for everything, but I could never understand the, like, gun nerds. It was never something I was into. But there's always that one person that you know that is just like, oh yeah, this is so-and-so model gun made by so-and-so, and it uses this millimeter of casing. I guess everybody has to have that one thing that they're super obsessed with. And I suppose it's kind of hypocritical of me, because I'm really obsessed with learning about video game lore, so, like, what can I say?
Aufklärungswanda, Herr HQ. Status frei. Kommen. Hier Friedrich 1. Keiner weiß, dass wir hier sind. Ich bin auf den Gouverneur getreten. Die Aufgabe
Stuff on the governor. Oh. Whoa? Oh no! They're compelling! Oh no, not the bees! Stealth is an option, but not the one we're taking.
Here I am, calm down, juice in hand, and I'm going to read the credits. First few things, I'm gonna answer some questions.
Okay.
One, I'm probably not going to talk about Mech Assault. It's apocryphal and non-canonical.
Mech Assault?
It's as legit in the universe as fan fiction. While somewhat entertaining, it's BattleTech and theme only. Kind of like that Sega Genesis game that was pretty okay, if strange.
Okay. Just assuming from the context here, potentially like a bit of a spin-off set within the BattleTech universe, but it didn't really turn out very well.
It was strange, but hey, it was fun. Second question I keep getting asked. Where can I find Space Station 13 stories? I don't know. Maybe this playlist. Or this one. I mean, altogether that's years, literally years of Space Station 13 going back to 2011.
What is Space Station 13?
I mean,
is that a game?
It's 700.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just look this up. I'm super confused. Space Station 13 is a community-developed multiplayer round-based role-playing game where players assume the role of a crew member on a space station. Whoever heard about that one before? Although, I'm assuming it's very, very different from Among Us. Oh wait, hold up a minute. Mandalore made a review on Space Station 13. I Might have to check that out then. Because I have heard about the game, and I'm pretty sure the editor was talking about it earlier, but I have not seen it nor played it. And potentially I saw it in the comment section of when I was learning about RimWorld. Maybe it's similar in style?
100-ish episodes, it's probably gonna last you the rest of your life, or interest in Space Station 13. Maybe give that a look. In terms of telling Space Station 13 stories, I'm probably not gonna do that. There's going to be a run of people trying to tell these stories, much like channels that make a run of retelling other people's work for profit using a Microsoft Sam voice and then pocketing the money.
That is so dumb. That, like, there's so many channels out there that's literally just like an AI voice with the re-uploaded content. And it's even worse that there are channels out there that are quote-unquote like YouTube gurus that teach you how to do this stuff. Like, what is the point of content like that? Like, there is no you anymore. It's just a video. That being said, no, I am not an AI. There's probably still some people out there checking out my videos and thinking that I'm some sort of sentient AI. No, I am not. I am an actual person. This is just a VTuber model. God, some people.
God, we live in strange fucking times.
Yeah, man.
Next, I have considered a BPL podcast. Considered it, usually the sign of a bad channel running out of ideas, so that probably means it's long past me for time for me to do it.
Oh no! Okay, look, the podcast idea, it's actually pretty fun when you do it, but yeah, kind of. It's kind of become a staple of channels or like careers that have run its course, and like, yeah, podcasts are easy to do and people like to listen to them. But man, nowadays there are just so many podcasts out there. I don't know if it would work out. The competition is incredibly high, and you basically hear about some famous content creator making yet another podcast with some other content creator almost like every other day. But I don't know. Maybe we're kind of past that era by now? It's hard to say because the internet landscape keeps on shifting. Like, it changes so fast. What could be popular now could just be absolutely dead the next month. If any of you guys are watching this and maybe in the future you want to start making content, or if you're also a content creator, my suggestion is just make what you enjoy. As long as you're talking about the stuff that you're super passionate about, you're not going to burn out. And whether or not your videos actually reach people is kind of out of your hands. So focusing on that result as your end goal is probably the most unhealthy way to go about it. So yeah, just have fun making videos. That's all you can do, really.
Oh god. Next question. When will you cover blank mech here? Usually it's gonna be when I get around to it. I have polls. I encourage people to vote in them. Typing the same mech like 50 times probably isn't gonna help though.
Gotcha.
Just saying. Next question.
Thank you,
I see
editors,
a lot. Do you play Mechwarrior online? Yes. Yup. Name has been provided by the editor, so you can shoot me in the face if you see me around. Please don't send me mechs. I don't want a Kodiak with a long attached diatribe as to why the Kodiak is the best thing ever. It's got claws, it looks goofy. That's all you need to know about it. Alright, it's time to riff on the credits. Let me have a few more drinks and we'll get into this. Hey, Goat, play me some music to read the credits so I don't just ass blast clanners while names go by.
I gotcha, fam. We shoot sick, the young villain.
What?
While we're best in main, because the kills all count the same. Napalm sticks to kids. Flying low, across the cheese. Pilots doing what they please. Dropping frags on refugees. Napalm.
Maybe something else. I'm already super duper turbo demonetized.
I heard myself today. Opening some beans. I focus on the beans. I'm gonna eat some beans.
Okay, fuck
those
it.
beans.
Just play Tristram.
Que porra é essa? Eu não posso tocar o que eu quero, cara. Puta que pariu, porra.
What was that, Russian?
All right. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, let's just listen to music this time around. Oh yeah, some things in the credits maybe that need to be addressed. These are the people from the Patreon. They're nice people.
Oh yeah.
They tend not to demand much. I keep telling them to not give me money. I write posts about don't give me money. And it's the end of the month. Now would be a good time to not pay me money again, as you're about to get charged again for something you shouldn't pay for. And most of them stick around. Kind of like my fan base. Kind of weird. Oh, some things to talk about, because YouTube's not going to let me link everything in the end credits like they used to. So, Goat's the music man. Goat does the musics. He's playing the guitar right now.
The actual Goat.
He wrote a lot of the background track stuff. Pretty great guy at that. The editor has a channel. It's called The Courtesy Flush. It is on YouTube and Twitch. It's very fucking comfy viewing, and I really think you should check that out. And yeah, here's some links to the next Tex Talks BattleTechs. And if you want to fucking know what I'm going to talk about next, maybe interact with the comments and such, because I put that on polls some time ago. See you later, fuckers.
Thank you so much, Tex.
Is he gone? Alright. Oh, give me a locus where the gravitas focus, where the three-body problem is solved, where the microwaves play down at 3 degrees K, and the cold virus never evolved.
This is nice.
Home on Lagrange, where the space debris always collects. We possess, so it seems, two of man's greatest dreams: solar power and zero G sex. We eat algae pie, our vacuum is high, our ball bearings are perfectly round.
You're not my mom. I do what I want.
Good for you, man. And no, none of us are your mother. Tex's videos are always jam-packed with information, but I think it's the adverts as well as the end credits that really sets his videos apart. Because the thing about YouTube nowadays is that it's quote-unquote meta to end your video as quickly as possible to make sure that watch time is super high, and then kind of direct your audience to the very next video. Make sure they stay on your channel, you know. But these endings are just so fun, and I think that's sorely lacking in modern day YouTube. Just a massive shout out to Tex for keeping this kind of style alive.